So hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. This is Jessica of Sashes&Scripts, and today we are with Kiara Giel Gregorio, and we will be talking about her Binibining Pilipinas 2023 experience.
Hello everyone! Hello Sir Jessa!
Hello,
Thank you
Kiara.
for having me po.
Okay, introduce yourself muna bago tayo mag-start doon sa ating Q&A for this afternoon.
Yes, so hello everyone. My name is Kiara Giel Gregorio, your Binibini 11 representing Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija.
Okay, so Kiara, you are based in London.
I was.
If I'm not mistaken. No?
Yes.
And you took law in London as well. And let me ask, saan nanggaling you're now in Binibini but you're representing Cabanatuan? Is that where you're originally from?
Yes po. So I was born in the Philippines actually. A lot of people have this misconception that I was born in the UK, but I was born in the Philippines po. In fact, I even went to school here until grade 4.
Oh, okay.
So I was about 10, 11 years old when I moved to England. So yeah.
So yun na nga, you moved to England, and then why did you take law doon sa study mo doon?
Well, it was a bit of a funny story po kasi my parents actually are very traditional. So they intended me to go into the medical field. They really wanted me to become a doctor. So in the UK po kasi there's this thing called GCSE. So they ask you to pick kind of like the subjects, kind of narrowing down your options when it comes to your academics. So pinagbigyan ko na po si mama. So like I took up triple science, and then it got to a point that I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm really sorry. I cannot go through with this. I just don't think I would flourish in this field. So, and then I remember, because I also took up business at the time, there was a module to do with legislation, and that's what really what sparked my interest in the law, and then it just went on from there.
Okay, and then after, by now you're finished with your studies, right?
Opo.
And also your master's in law,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Guys, she actually graduated last February
My master's.
for her master's.
Yes.
And she was already actually here in the Philippines by then because of the Binibining Pilipinas na screenings and applications.
Yeah, so I finished my master's degree, and then there was supposed to be a graduation ceremony in the UK on the 3rd of February. Pero I was already anticipating the Binibining Pilipinas submissions. So what I did was, you know what? I've already graduated once of undergraduate, so why not just fly to the Philippines and have that extra time to prepare for Binibini? That's exactly what I did, but no regrets at all.
No regrets at all. And then
Opo.
after you graduated doon sa unang mong sa undergraduate na
Yes.
na law, you actually were practicing paralegal. Correct?
So what happened po was, so I finished my undergraduate degree, and then I came back to the Philippines actually. I was intending to join Binibini way back in 2020, straight after my undergraduate degree. And then I came back to the UK just to pick up my stuff and bring it back here to the Philippines. And what happened was COVID. So I was stranded there for a while, and that's when I took up the decision to do my master's. And then after that, I was very fortunate because they took me in initially for an internship. A Filipino-owned law firm called Dias Solicitors in London, specializing in immigration and family law. They took me in, and I was able to somehow practice as well under the guidance of a fully qualified solicitor.
Okay. So, medyo mabigat na yung usapan because
Get carried away.
we were talking about yung background mo and your experience with with practicing law. But muna tayo, let's go back in time muna. Let's talk about your experience with Miss Philippines Earth, because for those na ngayon pa lang na nakikilala si Kiara, she was actually Miss Philippines Earth Air in 2016.
Yes.
Right? She was the one of the elemental queens, and when the winner that time could not finish her reign, she passed on her title, and technically it should be going to you because you were the heir for MPP at that time, elemental queen. However, you passed on that opportunity, and then that's why we have Lauren Arcacos, who was crowned as Miss Philippines Earth for that year. Now, I want to ask the question, why did you pass the opportunity to take on the responsibility as Miss Philippines Earth?
Okay, so I think I can sum it up in two reasons. One was because I was already in law school. So when I won, I spoke to Tita Lorraine of Miss Philippines Earth actually if I could go back to the UK because I already deferred my place in law school for 1 year.
Okay.
And I couldn't defer it anymore. So I asked Tita Lorraine, is it okay if I go back to the UK to start law school, and then I will go back every semester, which I did. And I did that, and then and she said, yeah, that's fine. So I already went to law school, coming back to the Philippines several times to fulfill my duties as Miss Philippines here.
Okay.
And then when all that happened, the winner resigned and the crown was offered to me. I was told that if you were to take the crown, you would have to be based in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I couldn't possibly leave my studies in mid-air.
Yes.
And also the second reason at the time was this was before the time of pageantry.
Yes.
This is before the time
Yeah.
of crossovers.
Yes.
And I knew in my heart at that time, it's my absolute dream to be able to represent the Philippines in an international stage. So if you're already a title holder for one national pageant, crossing over was not the norm at the time. Ngayon na lang po nangyari yan, di ba? So that was the two main reasons. And then we came to a decision, even Tita Lorraine, she's like, okay then.
So that's the reason why. But the main reason is actually because it would be difficult to maintain your studies as well as the responsibilities as Miss Philippines Earth.
Yes.
So now we know because a lot of people kasi when the main winner resigned, were thinking that it was
gonna go to
the
me. Yeah.
Okay. So it was offered. So let's be clear, it was offered to her, but because of what do you call this? Because of conflict with schedule and conflict with your studies, she had to defer yung title. She had to refuse yung title. So there. So I wanna now ask you because there's a lot of rumors going around, wanting, or rather fan clamor, wanting the Miss Earth na franchise to go to Binibining Pilipinas. What are your thoughts if ever na i-acquire siya ng Binibining Pilipinas? Would you be in favor of a Binibining Pilipinas Earth?
Oh, why not? That would surely be interesting po. I mean, as long as, kasi diba, ang very essence of Miss Earth is really to have really strong advocacy. I remember during my time, we were being fields, but we would be digging and planting trees. So if it were to go to Binibini Pilipinas, I hope that we can continue what they started in terms of groundwork. Yeah, why not? That would really be interesting.
Okay, now that you're talking about Binibining Pilipinas, how's the experience so far?
Oh my gosh. Where do I even begin? I could talk for hours. Kasi po, it's been such an absolute dream of mine to be able to call myself a Binibini. So, you know what, I'm just taking every day as it comes, enjoying every single experience. Kahit na it gets really tiring, the schedule's really hectic, we have to get up at, 11. The most recent one was we had to get up at 11 p.m. so that we could get glammed up for a 2:30 a.m. call time. But you know what? Once you're already there, the adrenaline just gets to you and just enjoy every moment. And that's all I'm very grateful about. And when my mom and I were very close, and I think more than myself, siya po yung isa din siya sa talagang fan ko siya ng Binibini, and she really hoped for me to join. So every experience I did this, serving more shopping for the gun shop, and then sabi niya sinasabi, mo anak, dati pinapangarap mo lang yan. Naalala mo ba nung high school ka? Sunday evening, you would be ironing your uniform or watching the Binibining Pilipinas I'm just enjoying every single second of it.
And the entire pageant is quite long and tedious.
Yes.
So, hindi ka ba nagkaroon ng parang shock na, ay, ganito na pala ganito pala yung experience sa Binibini, that it's not a sprint, but it's like a marathon of long hours, sleepless nights.
Yes. I mean, because my mom and I have been following the pageant for so long, I kind of got the idea that it really was a marathon rather than a sprint. Kasi in the past, I joined pageants where we were in-house for 2 weeks and that was it. That was all the activities crammed into 2 weeks. Whereas in Binibini, we could go for as long as 3 months to that. So I kind of I thought I was prepared for the long duration, but I think as human beings, it's human nature that sometimes we don't maintain or sustain that kind of energy. We have our low moments as well. Pero
How do you pick yourself up from that?
I talk to my mom, my dad, my sister especially, and my friends.
So it's important then. I think that aside from your glam team and the people behind you and your camp, you also have like a strong support system at home.
Oh, it even gets to the point that I do have I have close friends here in Manila. We're very fortunate to have them. And minsan it's very refreshing to be around people who are not in the circle of pageantry. So parang you can disassociate even just for a few hours. Not that there's anything bad in pageantry, but sometimes you really just want to take a break for your own mental health and for your own good. So that's something I really treasure. I've been very fortunate to have a really good support system with my family and my friends.
Ayan, since nandito na tayo sa usapan on Binibining Pilipinas, no? Because I want to like know the candidate experience when it comes to the Binibining Pilipinas process. You are technically you're a lawyer.
Almost there.
Kasi guys, we need to understand that how law is practiced here in the Philippines is different from how it is practiced in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
So can you like tell us yung differences? Kasi dito kasi sa Pilipinas, kapag naipasa mo na yung bar exam, nakadikit na yung attorney dun sa pangalan mo. However, it's a different, different system in the UK. So can you like walk us through that?
Okay, so if here in the Philippines you do a pre-law degree and then you do your bachelor's degree in law, and then you take the bar and then you'll be an attorney.
Yes.
But in England, it's very different. So what we had to do is, in England, after you finish high school, there's this thing called sixth form. It's kind of like easing you in, preparing you to go into university, which is your degree. So I went to sixth form. I studied English literature, law, and business studies and economics. And then after those 2 years, I went back to the Philippines, took a break. I went back to go into my bachelor's degree. So I don't have a pre-law. They don't have pre-law in the UK. So you go straight into your bachelor's. That's a 3-year course. And then after that, you have to do your legal practice course, your master's of legal practice course. And that's kind of like the more practical side of the legal profession in the UK. So when you do the LPC, it's kind of like the bar exam in the Philippines, but it's spread out over a long 12 months.
So it's not just like one exam and then you're done. So in the UK, it's like a series of exams.
It's a series of exams, and not just like paper exams. So we get assessed on our interview skills, our advocacy skills, how we represent in court. We get assessed on that as well. So we're not thrown into the deep end when we start practice. And so I've done my master's, I've done my LPC, I've had the chance to practice for a little bit under the supervision of a fully qualified solicitor in England.
Okay. So just a question though, when you are a law graduate there, is it a requirement that in order for you to practice law, you need to have your master's of law degree?
So what happened was, for me, I only took up the combined master's degree and legal practice course because it was offered at my university. At my university, if you go back, you get an alumni discount.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, it's extra modules for an extra degree, and then I'll be done with my legal practice course. So I was like, why not? let's do it. But it's not required naman. You can do LPC for about, I think it will be 9 months, 6 to 9 months.
So just another, because I'm intrigued with your profession. When you were signing your contracts in Binibining Pilipinas, was there a part of you who was lawyering up in your head, okay, this is what this phrase means? Walk us through that. Kasi parang it's intriguing that you're now in the process of an agreement, right?
Yes.
In a legal agreement. And it's was there a lawyer, voice in your head telling you that, okay, this is what it means?
Yes, I think the lawyer, he really jumped out when I was reading our contract in Binibini, because one of the electives that I chose to specialize in when I was studying is commercial law as well as entertainment and media law.
Yeah.
So I've done my fair share of reading management contracts and just different kinds of agreements in general. And when I was reading the Binibini contract, I was like, okay, this is what it means. Okay, this makes sense. This is fair. This is favorable to me. This is not in any way taking advantage of me as a Binibini. So perfect. Okay, sign.
Because guys, you have to understand, when I first asked Kiara for an interview, she said that okay, there is a clause that in the agreement that you need to the media has to go through the proper channels. Right?
It wasn't a certain clause, but we were just advised by the
By the
officials
BBC,
of
yeah.
Binibining Pilipinas charities that if someone were to ask us for an interview, it would be good if we cross-check it with them first. So, and I think it's in our best interest to do so. So,
and it's also a way to professionalize how interviews are done. And this is also the reason why I am able to get an interview with the girls. I went to the proper channels, requested through a letter several girls that I would want to interview one-on-one, have a discussion with the girls kung ano yung interview, paano siya mangyayari. Because what I wanted was that the interview with the Binibinis would have to be something that is brand building and image building for the girls. That's why before this interview, nagkaroon muna kami ng chat ni Kiara about the interview, the process, how it's going to be carried out, because I want that this is not going to be an interview where the interviewer will just ask, pageant questions, because hindi ito Binibining Pilipinas finals. What we want is to get to know you more, get to know about the girls more, and that's why this is also the reason why more on her background ang tinatanong natin, because we need to humanize these girls, because aside from what you've seen in the glam shots, these are people who are made of flesh and blood, right? And we want to get to know more about the personality as well, kasi this competition, sometimes it gets cutthroat, and in order for fans and people in general to understand the girls, they need to be presented in such a way that you get to know them first. So that is why this interview is focusing more on Kiara and her background.
it's really lovely for us. As I was telling you kanina, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because I've been hosting the TFC for about 7 years now, and I'm always the one throwing questions. So it's so lovely to be able to express myself more, tell you a little bit more about myself, and also with Binibining Pilipinas so far. We've had appearances, but we have yet to be given a chance to talk. So I think this is a really great opportunity to be able to present us to the public.
And speaking of, because little did we know that Kiara pala is also a TV presenter with the Filipino channel in the UK. And I want to talk about that because this is you're a lawyer, you're a TV presenter, in your bio you're also a content creator. So how are you able to manage all of these different tasks and work at the same time be on top of your Binibining Pilipinas day?
Well, first and foremost, in terms of my legal work, I've been given the chance to get a break because I was very fortunate because my mentor, my boss, Dias Solicitors, she's very supportive of this Binibini journey. So that's on the side. But even when I was back, I think it really boils down to the fact that I'm really passionate about what I do. So I know I remember telling you that being a lawyer was the first choice that I made. And so it was actually the fact that my parents made me choose. So which one of these professions, doctor, lawyer, engineer, you know, the typical.
The typical patient.
Yeah, but another part of me really wanted to go into creative industries, so media. And I think I was just very lucky that I fell in love with studying law. And also at the same time, I was so fortunate to have met people that allowed me to engage with what else I was passionate about. So when I came back to the UK, started law school, I met Rosa now from the Binibini, and she's actually the one that opened doors for me to be able to, you know, express myself and engage with what else I was passionate about. And I think that was really important in trying to get me through my law school journey because it can be really tough.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about your background, we've talked about your education. Now I want to ask, you know, this question about your batchmates as a whole, because there's a professional sportswoman, there is a doctor, there is several models, but a lot of them are very, you know, in terms of their background, they come from professional na mga industries. I actually was reading through some of your bios. Merong customs broker, may mga girls na who comes from a accounting background. So how do you feel that this Binibining Pilipinas batch, you're all like outside the Binibining Pilipinas, outside the pageant na equation, you're all accomplished, you know, business women, you're all accomplished na professionals outside the pageant na industry?
I think it's very empowering because I grew up in a country, St. Jude, where it's not frowned upon, but they just see beauty queens as very different from how they see beauty queens in the Philippines. So to be able to like share to my network, even just on social media, share to my network in the UK that look what the Philippines has to offer, look what beauty queens has to offer. There's lawyers, there's doctors, certain professionals. So it's really nice to be able to be around a group of girls. And I remember I was talking to one of the girls who's also a law student, and I think we had a very similar dilemma on whether to pursue Binibining Pilipinas or carry on with our legal professional careers. And I think it's very empowering to be around that kind of energy in general.
And it's also a testament to, you know, the girls joining Binibining Pilipinas that they have so much diverse backgrounds, and you come from different professions and professional na careers yung pinag-uusapan, no?
Yes po, and I think it's nice because sometimes we get very carried away in terms of the pageant industry, but what I think is nice about this batch, having loads of professionals, is it's a reminder that there's always a world outside of pageantry. It is a phase in your life that can have it's a phase in your life, but it can have a long-term impact. But at the end of the day, there's a world outside of pageantry.
Ayan. And we like that. We like the fact that there are girls na if we take the pageantry aspect from their lives, there's still, you know, something to talk about. Kumbaga buo pa yung mga personalities ng mga girls na sumasali ng Binibining Pilipinas if you take away the pageant na aspect. So, Kiara, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for allowing us to get to know you better. Kasi mas naiintindihan natin ngayon yung mga binibinis natin because we now are able to talk to them and, you know, see them and be more personable with them and get to know more about who they are instead of just looking at, you know, photos, videos, glam shots, ganyan na ganda lang yung nakikita natin. And now we are able to humanize, have to know yung mga backgrounds.
Opo.
So, salamat sa lahat ng mga sumubaybay sa interview na to. Kiara, please, invite everyone to support you in your journey in Binibining Pilipinas and your social media accounts as well.
Yes, so maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtutok at pagsubaybay dito sa Sashes&Scripts channel, Mr. Jason. I hope this episode allowed you to get to know a little bit more about me, and I hope you could continue supporting me in this Binibining Pilipinas journey. Please do get in touch. Please do say hi on my social media channels. Everything is at Kiara Giel. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, maraming salamat, Kiara, and thank you very much sa mga sumubaybay. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more pageant-related content, and see you in our next episode. Bye everyone, and have a great day.